Hello and welcome to Season 2 of the Spirit Lounge podcast. With me, David.
And me, Glenda. And we are two psychic mediums from both sides of the pond.
Glenda is in Australia.
And David is in the UK.
And we're here to talk about, discuss and give our opinions on all things spiritual, including psychics and mediumship.
And if you've listened to the podcast before, you know how much we love to laugh while keeping it real, honest and down to earth.
As well as having those discussions, there'll also be guest interviews and maybe some other surprises.
So come with us now on our podcast journey and let's see what's happening in the Spirit Lounge for today's episode.
Well, hello listeners and welcome back to the Spirit Lounge, and I'm here with Glenda as always. Hello Glenda, looking very glamorous over there in Australia.
Oh, thank you. Hi David and hello listeners. Oh my gosh. We've got 8 p.m. over this side of the pond, and what time is it there?
It's gone 10 a.m.
10 a.m. Wow.
I know, it's very strange, that 10 hour difference, isn't it? Trying to get together.
I know. It is. This daylight savings just screws with my head.
I know. But we are very excited today, aren't we, Glenda? Because today we have our first guest, our very first guest of 2026, and our first guest of Season 2 of the podcast. So today we are joined by spiritual medium Paul Bannister. Paul is based in Norwich in the UK, doing both psychic and mediumship readings, both in person and online. Paul's also a demonstrating medium doing many public events, whether it be in churches, private events or charity events, where Paul has helped to raise a lot of money for certain charities. Paul also hosts his own podcast called Spiritual Talk TV, which I've had the pleasure of being a guest on. And it's our pleasure to have Paul here with us today. So welcome, Paul, to our Spirit Lounge.
Good morning. And for those listening on audio, it is me. I've just got a dodgy throat this morning. But thank you for inviting me, guys.
Oh, no, welcome. Pleasure. We're excited to have you on because you've got a wealth of knowledge, Paul, which you'd like to utilise today as best as we can, whilst both of our voices hold out.
Yes.
So let's see what we get spoken about. So, Paul, basic question, really. Where did your mediumship journey start, and how did it unfold for you?
To be honest, it kind of hit the ground running, really. As a child, I was surrounded by spirit. Not because my parents were mediums. My next door neighbor was a trance medium, and by default her house was very haunted, and I used to experience a lot of spirit around me. And I mean, guys, is my voice there? Can you understand that all right?
Absolutely.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I sound like a bit of an alien from this side. I've got the dreaded lurgy over here at the moment. It's going around everybody. But so growing up, I was lucky, or it was a kind of like being born in the right place at the right time. I had people around me where I learned a lot. I saw a lot. So I was always open-minded to the spirit world. I believed in something, but I didn't know what until I was older.
Yeah. So did you come from a spiritual family or anything like that? I know I didn't. I came from a Catholic upbringing, nothing to do with spirituality at all. Was that the same for you, or what was your?
Kind of. My parents are very working class people, very hardworking. It was only later that I found out that my nan had the gift. On my mum's side, she's Scottish, and she had the gift of sight. She saw them. So, yeah.
Oh, okay. So would you consider yourself spiritualist then, or do you not necessarily go in for that? Do you normally just do your own thing, or do you prescribe to us like religion?
See, you know, I struggle with even the words and definitions of the words in terms of where I see myself at, and words can be very limiting. So yes, I class myself as a medium. I guess I'm in service rather than calling myself a clairvoyant. Clairvoyant is clear seeing. I don't want to put myself in a box, David.
Yeah, absolutely agree.
I mean, I just like just being called Paul. I quite like that. I'm just Paul.
Yeah.
And so, Paul, do you believe that mediums are born or they're made?
See, I believe it's part of the human condition. I believe it's something that we can all develop to a more or lesser degree. Not everyone has chosen to come into this world to be a medium. But if you're meant to be working in that way, you certainly will be. But yeah, I think we can all receive messages. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
yeah, it's kind of like it's either your journey or it's not, isn't it?
Yeah, I totally agree. Totally agree. I interviewed a gentleman called Robert Schwartz, and he was a gentleman that discovered the soul plan for us, that we all have this soul plan and we all live by that. So if we're meant to be a certain or doing a certain subject, we will be. It's very interesting to a point where we don't really have free will. So even though we
see,
think we do.
I'm a big believer there,
Yeah.
David. David and I have different opinions here, and I'm of that opinion.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, absolutely. I one of my background in my background is developing. I spent quite a few years doing spiritual healing, and I discovered that when people tend to go off their path, we get ill, and it's through that realignment that we find ourselves again. So I found that very, very interesting.
That's an interesting way to look at it. So then, digging into that a little bit, then, because as Glenda said, we have different opinions on different things, and so I know Glenda very much believes in the soul contract, and we sign things before we come in and all that business. Now, I'm not saying I definitely don't believe in that, but I'm not like I have an opinion either way. So if we dig in that a little bit deeper, what are your thoughts on things like soul contracts? Do you believe that everything is already set in place for us? No, we have the free will, but what are your thoughts around that?
I've had my own experiences with past life regression.
All right down Glenda's path.
Okay, so I come into this as very much. I grew up. My father was very working class. He was an electrician, and everything had to be explained. And I had a part of that in me. So when I went on my journey and things started to happen to me, I wanted to dig deeper into these things. And I found that we have many lives, that we have many different experiences. And the soul chooses certain factors in each life for us to grow and learn from. I mean, I can explain about my own experience. I know in this life, one of my factors or one of my lessons, my biggest lessons, is to deal with conflict, but in an appropriate way. Whereas maybe in a past life, it wasn't so appropriate. Maybe I shot someone. I don't know. But in this lifetime, it's been, when it comes to conflict, my life has been completely different. Quite difficult aspects of it with conflict that I've had to be almost step back and assess everything that I was doing. One in particular, I brought my children up on my own. I had a very difficult experience in my personal life. I've had personal illness that I've had to battle with and conflict around that. So every step of the way, when I found out my soul contract, that part of my lessons was conflict, I wasn't surprised.
Okay. I see what you're saying. So you believe in the reincarnation then, Paul?
Oh, I mean, again, through experience. I know I used to be, this is going to sound crazy, guys, but
No.
when I was 12, all of a sudden, all I wanted to do was join the British Navy. And I had every ship on my wall in my bedroom. I knew the size, capacity, and I joined the Sea Cadets. That's it. I knew what I was given. That was my life path. I got to 16 and then decided, no, this is not for me. Now, when I was regressed, my last life came up. I was in the British Navy. And I couldn't believe it. So there was a kind of a flavor there left over from my past life. So if you have certain experiences that reflect your life, I think it's proof of who we are. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. We do carry essence of it through into this lifetime.
Yeah.
And it makes a lot of sense because I do the past life regressions and just people coming and working on themselves or wanting to work through certain, even if it's just confidence, and regressing them. When you go through that, it makes a lot of sense to why people do the certain things that we do, patterning and beliefs and jobs that we do in this lifetime or the people we end up with. It really makes a lot of sense. So
absolutely,
I'm with you.
Absolutely. And one experience I had, I assumed I had asthma. And when I was regressed, I saw how I died. and I died. I was below deck. Now the boat wasn't a modern battleship as you see today. It was something from the Pirates of the Caribbean, and it was an old wooden ship. And I was below deck. I got into a fight, and as I got into this fight, they used to carry hot barrels of tar to keep the deck sealed. Obviously, being wooden, they're very porous. And I got into this fight, and the oil hit me, burnt through my chest, and that's how I died. And after that moment, no more asthma. No, it was completely released. It was a memory. It was a traumatic memory that my body held, or my auric field held on onto.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I've not had it since. It's been gone ever since. And I actually felt that come away from me. So again, David, that was enough evidence for me to believe, hang on, there's something in this. Yeah.
And do you know what I find that the males that I do the regression and that work and the actual physical healing, males seem to respond better than females is what I'm finding through my regressions.
Interesting.
I feel that I find females, seem to be in our heads. We overthink things. We need to like understand it. But the males that I do or have done, it makes sense and they release instantly and they don't overthink it. I don't think males are in that. You know what I mean? Compared when I think about my husband, he's not in his head. It's just like bang, bang, bang. But us females, we tend to overthink things. So I find males really, really do well with regression.
Yeah. It's an interesting concept. And I believe that we can hold on to certain aspects through past lives, but not always the bad things, also good things too. Things we've achieved, I believe we hold on to. I mean, it was Edgar Casey, the sleeping prophet, who first became the gentleman that would go into our Akashic records. I mean, I used to assume that was a human concept for us to understand that, but who knows? The soul may have that within inside ourselves. So it's an interesting aspect of regression in terms of the human condition or the reality of the human experience.
Yeah, mind blowing.
Absolutely. And Paul, have you how do I want to question it? Do you those things that you've learned through those experiences and through those regression of things, have you been able to use them with your mediumship, or is it something separate? So we all say we know, like, we learn lessons and we can do this. So do you think it's helped your mediumship in some way, or do you bring it into your mediumship in any kind of way?
I wouldn't necessarily say yes, that's an aspect that's helped me. But I believe on a level it would have helped me somewhere. Healing is releasing. You know, we rise higher when we let those sandbags go. We rise. So on some level, yes. And that's quite simplistic, I know, but it's an interesting concept, and I love the idea of it's all about self-healing and about self-growth. And in modern times, everybody's out there looking for better performance in everything we do in life. And sometimes we neglect the inner world. We focus on the outer world. We focus on the body. But actually, the inner world is as important as the outer world. Yeah.
Especially going into the world of mediumship and putting yourself out there, being vulnerable and facing all of those sort of things. You really, if you don't do the work, I don't feel you're going to last, in life. A lot of people don't.
Oh, I've been in pubs where there's been a fight and the lady come up to me at the end. How did you carry on when they were fighting? Oh, it's fine. So, I've cut my teeth on a lot of different types of demonstrations. And it's certainly, people can be a bit, sorry guys, but some people believe that we shouldn't work in pubs. Now, I know really famous mediums that do. For me, it's about how do we reach those people that wouldn't normally come to a specific event. So for me, it's about bringing that light, just that possibility that something within them might awaken. So I'll go anywhere.
Yeah, it's true, because you're not going to get everybody go to a church, are you?
Yeah.
If you're not,
Yeah.
'cause I think when people think spiritualist churches, they think, oh, it's going to be churchy. And look,
Yeah.
some of them are, granted. But I think, yeah, you're right with those other venues like pubs or village halls or whatever
Yeah.
else. You expand that reach to
I
more
think
people
it's a
than.
good. Sorry, David. I think it's a good balance to do all. Don't forget the churches.
Mm,
Support the churches. But if you get yourself a name and you're working in your community, when you go to that church, you bring more people to that church. So
Yeah.
it can work in two ways.
yeah.
So it's trying to see the positive in that.
And how different for you, Paul, is it from working in a church to then doing your own private events? What are the main
Well,
differences for you?
well, to be honest, I always, when I work in a pub or a club or a community centre, I always asked that the angels create the energy for me to work in that protected space. Okay. Um, Obviously, working in the church, it's there already. It's
Mm,
beautiful. It's easier. It's more powerful, and it's uplifting. But if I can bring it even half of that power into a public house or a community centre, I think I've done the job. And
yeah.
I think ultimately it's always about service. It's always about service. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you find it more challenging, like when we demonstrate in a spiritual church, a lot of people there are mediums themselves, or they're,
Yeah.
in there they're developing, or they know the go or the flow of, when you put something out there, or you look outside the box, they're really open to it. But when you go and do an event in a place like a pub, or, a different place that you've hired, you're going to get people from all walks of life that don't normally know the flow of what to understand, or be a bit more skeptical. Do you find it a little bit more challenging in that way?
Totally, because you've got to educate the public before you start working. I always use that. Let's go on a journey together. And once you set that stage, once you set that idea of how you're working with the public, generally you'll find they'll work with you. There's always a balance of not being too funny, but be funny, get people to like you, and enjoy the experience, but not also taking away the magic of communication, because it is a miracle.
Yeah.
It's a
It
miracle.
is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. So I'm also aware it's not entertainment, but it should be entertaining at the same time. Do you know what I
Absolutely.
mean? So it is getting that balance, because again, as Glenda said, you'll get people that go who are completely antagonistic, or will sit there with face like a
Absolutely.
smacked ass, arms folded. You think, okay,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I've got to work with this person over here.
The whatever you do, don't shy away from those people. Obviously, there's body language, and we can read someone. We can't help but cold read someone. It's our human instinct. And we are in a vulnerable position when we demonstrate. And you
Yeah.
don't want to go to that person but what you'll find, if you trust your communicator and trust that message, you'll find that the body language, the way they're shut down, is because they're so vulnerable
Mhm.
and they're looking for that person. But actually, they don't believe in mediumship. But I'm here anyway. And I'm
Yeah.
angry. I've lost my dad and he died too young. So it can be very moving and releasing. And you've got an opportunity to give that person healing. So, on a level, we have to manage our ego. It doesn't matter if we get it wrong. If we trust in the communicator and our guides, they won't let us down. It might seem they are, but the longer, bigger picture, outside of that, you might find I've been to a demonstration where I've given a message and it wasn't taken. It wasn't until the lady went home
Mm.
that the information was confirmed. And then I got a phone call the next day saying how much it helped her and thank you very much. But of course, to the public, they
You
saw
look,
me getting it wrong.
you look shit. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm
No, it's
like,
true.
guys, why did you do that to me? And I got put your ego away.
Mm.
There's a bigger picture here.
No,
So
absolutely. Yeah.
trust. We always hear that word trust,
Mm.
but
Yeah.
trust is an expansive word that we can expand into understanding what trust truly means. It's not just a word. We have to surrender and let go.
That's right. So, Paul, with your events and things like that, like separate from the spiritual churches,
Yeah.
at what stage, or, if I can put it right out there, when did you get the balls to actually book your own event and go, you know what, I'm going to do it. I'm just going to book this event and see how it goes. Like, what advice would you give someone there that is maybe thinking about that?
Well, I enjoyed the churches, and I started off in the churches. And it wasn't until I started to get asked to do charity work that it showed me, actually, you can do this. And then I was getting asked more and more and more. And I thought, okay, why not just, go off and do it myself as well. So I'm now full time at this. And touch wood, I'm still here. I'm still surviving. But
very busy.
I'm very busy. Yeah,
You're
I
very
am.
busy.
I did 97 demonstrations of all different types last year.
Wow.
So, and I had a month off as well because I was ill at the beginning of the year. And that's another thing. You've got to manage your energy and your physicality.
Absolutely.
You've got to look after yourself, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How do you do that, Paul? What's your
do you have
any rituals, or what's your go-to to keep
First of all, learn
healthy?
to say no.
Yes.
Learn to say no.
Yes.
And you can't be all things to all people.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really hard to say no when someone comes and they've got a great charity and you really feel that compassion for them. Mm-hmm. You can't always do it. So that's the first thing. So try and work out a balance of, maybe give yourself, I'll do so many charity events, I'll do so many. And then gives you a boundary to work with. So build your boundaries and then make sure you have time off in between the demonstrations. I've had weeks when I've done 4 or 5. I can tell you by the Sunday, I didn't want to get out of bed. But it also
like David.
Yeah, and it reflects on the quality of your mediumship too. So sometimes we have to think of that we're not actually serving spirit, we're serving ourselves. So it's always difficult because we don't want to let people down. Even today, my voice is so bad, but guys, I didn't want to let you down. And thank you for letting me come on with this dodgy voice on here this morning.
You sound absolutely fine. You sound all right. You sound absolutely fine.
Paul, I've watched you for years, even when I was on SBTV, and I've watched your podcasts and your lives and that, and I've always had such a great respect for you. I always thought, you always come across so genuine and so kind, and you're easy on the eye as well. I'm sure other people can say that too.
Well, I appreciate that. It's all in the camera work, it's all in the camera.
But I feel like, and I'm not in the UK, but just being over here and what I see, I don't spend on too much time on social media, but your presence has such a great, you've really worked hard for getting to where you are and for your name, and I think that you're very well respected in the community is what I pick up, and I'm sure that's right. Is that right, David? You just, when you're there, you give 110%. So, thank you for doing that, and for helping so many other mediums step up to the plate. So, yeah.
Well, thank you. Checks in the post, by the way. Thank you for that. Okay, but I don't go out of my way. It's funny, people say really nice things, and it's lovely when they say that. I've also made some mistakes along the way. And that's part of my own growth and my own learning. So when I created Spiritual Talk with Anthony, a good friend of mine, we were seeing lots of stuff that were on, say, TikTok, and no disrespect to TikTok, because it can be a powerful platform if used in the right way. It's like anything. It's trying to find that balance to get it right. I run a circle. I support the guys in my circle. I've got 2 guys now that are now serving churches. Now they were competent before they came to me. They just needed that push, and that's kind of what I'm passionate about. Tony Stockwell once said, and Tony, if you're listening, it's because of you that inspired me, that you can't get enough good mediums. There's a lot of mediums, good, bad, and indifferent. Now, the indifferent ones are not because they're rubbish. It's because they might need support in other areas. So no one is ever bad. I'm always thinking everyone is there. If you come with an open heart, you're rewarded. So
I don't know. Have you been on Instagram? Well, there are some shockers out there.
there is. Can I tell you the story of one I saw, which is why I created Spiritual Talk?
Yes, please.
There was a lady in the deep south of America, and she was using a pendulum, and she got a question from this lady who said, "Is my husband cheating?" And she said in her deep southern accent, "Look here, it's saying yes. You get ready for him when he comes home." And all I could think of was this poor man getting home from a hard day's work and his wife waiting on the porch with a shotgun, and his bags are packed. All because of a pendulum on TikTok. So I think we have a massive responsibility that what we say affects people, the vulnerable. And that's another thing, grief. Grief is something a lot of us will run away from until we experience it or try to understand it. It's not until we experience it we understand it. So therefore, the professional ethics within mediumship is so important, but is overlooked, which is why I mentioned TikTok.
No, look, me and Glenn have gone about this all the time because it really winds us up. The things you hear, and as you say, our words are powerful. As our good friend Bill Hughes always says, our words have the power to uplift or destroy.
Absolutely.
Depending on what you say and how you say it. So it is really important that we do consider those ethics and just the professionalism that should also come with this work. So with that said, Paul, now I know there are many people out there who say there are no good mediums or bad mediums or whatever, but I think if we're realistic, if we look at what goes on these platforms, there are bad mediums. I'm really sorry, but the things that there are, and the things they say. So my question to you is, what would you consider to be a good medium? What would you expect to see from a good medium? And look, I know that we all say we all work differently. That's lovely, but sometimes the things that come out of some people's mouths, I would not consider them to be a good medium at all. So
you've got the variety of mediums, haven't you? You've got your spiritual church mediums. You've got your professional mediums that are doing the big theatres, and you've got genuine, honest people that just want to be in service for spirit. I'm not saying those in church don't. Of course they do. But they know one way. And the same with entertaining. So we can end up being lopsided. I think it's important for us all to experience all aspects of mediumship, whether it's a theatre, whether it's a spiritual church. And then comes the level of honesty within your mediumship. I hear people say certain things and I'm like, you're not actually got the link properly and you're giving this information. You need to be honest, especially in a difficult situation. For example, I'm aware of when people are murdered. I'm told, but I have to be honest with what I'm being told. I know there was one case where evidence in court was one medium where her evidence was used in court, and that was to do with an airship disaster back in the 30s.
I think I remember. Yeah, I've heard about that. Yeah.
So generally, our mediums are not taken seriously. I know police forces that have used mediums. I know of a police force in Northern Ireland of a famous case where a young lady was murdered and went missing, sorry. And they dredged the canal because a medium told them that she was in there, and she wasn't. So you have to be honest in everything you do. Yeah, so what makes a bad medium? Pressure from the audience, pressure to perform, making wrong decisions. So on any given day, being vulnerable and then not being honest. Then you, like you say, you create this reality where you're almost cheating yourself in a way. Does that make sense? So, see, I don't believe that there is a bad medium. I think they've gone off on a tangent somewhere, and something, whether it's their teaching, their learning, or just their ego, has caused the problem. I always find that spirit are in charge. So people that okay, I'm not going to name names. I know of a gentleman that he was I mean, can we say it on here?
Yeah, go on.
He was a drug
You can name
user.
names.
Not going to name
yeah,
names. He
no,
was a
that's
drug
fine.
user, and he would do some really unusual things. And I used to ask Spirit, what is going on here? Why are you allowing to work through him, even though he's doing some of these bad things? Even though he's not an example in what he's doing. If you talk to someone who worked in a spiritual church who turns up in a suit and tie every week, the last thing you'd see them is using recreational drugs and behaving badly. But this guy was doing mediumship and doing all of the above. And the Spirit said to me, sometimes we have to work with people to get to vulnerable people that wouldn't necessarily go to different types of mediums. And they told me not to judge. Do not judge. There's bigger picture. And I thought, okay, fine. Because it used to irk me, and it shouldn't really. And long story short, I'm trying to word this so I don't get into trouble, but he's now going through the court system and they're no longer using him. So, or being a part of what he's doing. So, is that justice? I don't like the word justice, but
yeah.
And I'm probably an extreme case, but I generally find people that are not willing to learn, not willing to grow, and the growth has to come alongside mediumship, or the mediumship drops away. So, coming back to your earlier question, I think the growth comes if we're meant to be doing this as well. If we've signed up, we've said that we work and serve in this way, the growth will come naturally.
Yeah.
But I think for some people that are want to see, people come to mediumship for all sorts of reasons. When you look around a development circle and you ask why you're here, they've been to see the local medium at the church. They loved it. They was inspired. But what actually is it? You want to become this. You want to do this. But what is it? What's your motivation for you to do that? So people need to question their motivation before they come into it. I mean, I after I had my brain tumor, and I never particularly, I knew there was something, but never had any religious belief system or philosophy or ideas. My parents were Church of England. We went to church at a funeral or wedding, and that was it. After I had a brain tumor and I recovered well, and my ex-wife was having a baby and our first child, I remember saying to God, thank you, because that wouldn't have happened if the brain tumor that I had, it was not crystallized. It's like the scale of a kettle. It had broken down. I don't know how it did that, but it broken down because that was the first time I prayed to God. And I asked, I don't want to die this way. I don't want to have this experience. So when they operated on me, it was a bit of a miracle in a way. The surgeon said they actually videoed the recorded the operation because it was so unusual. They'd never seen nothing like it. So about a year or so later, a new job, new home, child on the way, I said, I'd like to give something back. And then it all started and Spirit came close. And that's how my journey really, that was into mediumship began. But it was because of that. And I remind myself of that. I'm here today. I mean, okay, my voice is dodgy today, but I wouldn't have been able to speak. I wouldn't be able to do anything that they told me I was going to be doing. So I wanted to give something back. And I said, people always come to you in their hour of need. And I did the same thing. But I come to you as a fit, healthy man. How can I give something back? And that was just a fleeting thought. That was a message that I put into the ether. And then it all started for me.
It all unfolded.
I
was going to ask that as was a catalyst. That was the brain tumor, the catalyst.
And that's why I come back to this. That's why I come back to that question, David, because I think with bad mediums, you have to question their motivation for doing it in the first place.
Oh, absolutely.
I'll be honest, I don't always want to get up and demonstrate. I'd rather be at home watching Match of the Day, having a beer and a few tinnies and just, relaxing. But when I get there and when I connect with people and the love and the connection I bring through inspires me. Yeah.
It's pretty magic.
Yeah.
It's just, and to be able to do that, to be of service, to help somebody heal, just maybe, feel their loved one for that moment,
Absolutely.
fleeting moment is just,
Absolutely.
and I always feel that we say about bad mediums or the mediums that have gone off track. I sometimes feel that they need to be reminded of what it feels like to lose someone so close to you, because that's when you backtrack. That's when you really know what it feels like on the other side.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's interesting. It's normally a catalyst, as David said, that starts us on the journey anyway. But I think, as I would say, many are chosen, but only a few get through. Only a few make it. So I think it's a process there, and people generally can see through people that are not genuine.
Yeah, I believe that as well. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. About what you just said a minute ago, Paul, I think it's quite important for people listening to this who might be, doing their platform work and go through those moments of, I can't quite do this today. So I know, you're passionate about this work and you do it because you've got that fire in your belly. Absolutely. So when you do get those days, like we all get them, I certainly get them. I think, I can't be bothered to travel there this evening. I'd rather be, like, as you said, sat watching the film with the other half, whatever else.
Yeah.
How would you, is it just the passion that gets you to do it, or is there a process you give yourself a telling off and go, Paul, get off your ass, stop it, get on with it?
Okay, so my son sometimes reminds me. He says, "Dad, can we watch the football tonight? Forget about the church." I say to him, "Do you know who my boss is?" Pardon? You know my boss. He knows everything. He's all knowing. What are you talking about? God. Oh yeah, he said, you better go. But you put it like that, you can't hide. You can't hide. You're cheating yourself. You'll always feel and that's another thing that's really important. There's that saying, I mean, Gandhi would talk about our thoughts and our ideas create who we are. And we create our own reality by what we're thinking. So even in that moment when we don't feel it's going to be good, it's going to be difficult, don't say that. Even if you don't believe it, say yourself, this is going to be a great night. And it will be. Trust. It will be. I've been to demonstrations when there's been a mistake. Someone's put the wrong postcode on the venue. And then 20 people have turned up because you've got about 30 people ringing up going, where is it? We can't find it. So you've got 20 people in an audience. And they could be the best nights ever. So don't have that. Don't be deflated. There's a reason why everything happens. And just go with it and watch the magic unfold.
I just remind myself of that all the time. And something else, another medium said that as well, is that we shouldn't be going to Dems, whether it's in the church or wherever else, going, what if this goes wrong? What if I can't get that link? What if no one turns up? What if spirit are not? We shouldn't be saying that. We should be going and saying, actually, so what's going to happen tonight then? I wonder what's going to come out. What's going to be said? And what's the end? And change that mindset, shift the mindset. So I think
really for me, on the journey, there'd be thoughts, ideas of positivity. I always ask for messages of love, hope, and healing for positivity. Obviously, life isn't fluffy, so those difficult messages do come sometimes. But generally speaking, as a man thinketh, he becomes. So don't waste your energy on negativity, because you've got that little voice inside you it's just yourself doing it to yourself. You're draining your battery. Okay, put some beautiful music on, sing out loud, just enjoy yourself. And your bounce when you walk in there, that's infectious. And that audience connect to you because you're funny, you're alive, you bring laughter. Yes, you bring tears because it's important, but you bring that right balance and you enjoy yourself. Yeah.
Do you still get nervous, Paul?
That's
all
the time. So that's when the negativity, I'm nervous, it could go wrong. Even things like acoustics, because I use microphones sometimes. I did a demonstration for a radio station for charity, and they put me in a corner of a room next to two speakers, and a microphone, and I was getting feedback all the time. So it didn't work. So lesson learned with that one. But generally speaking, it won't go wrong. Prepare yourself to be in that right space. Yeah. AC/DC can work sometimes, but then so can beautiful classical music as well. So whatever your mindset, feel the music, feel that love, connect to spirit. They'll love it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, as David would dance to Janet Jackson, I think here.
That's it, absolutely.
Wow, that's a blast from the past, David.
I love Miss Janet. One of my faves.
Wow.
So Paul, with that, I've certainly had quite a challenging demonstration, which almost made me stop doing this work. But that's a whole other story. What's been your most challenging dem, and what impact did that have on you, if any?
I didn't have this experience. I did a demonstration with another gentleman, and he's a very good medium. And this is the only time I can think of, and I have thought of it, what if that had been me? How would I have taken that? And this gentleman was doing like I said, there was two of us who were working, and there was an audience of about 60 people. And at the end of the demonstration, he struggled to bring this particular gentleman he went to in the audience to bring his father through. And he left it. And some of the things he said to the gentleman made it harder for himself. He put himself in a position. I then went to someone else. He then went back to that person and tried again and still failed. Now, at the end of the demonstration, this guy went up to him and he said, "You're the worst medium I've ever seen, and you need to give up." And I didn't hear it. This is what I was told. And he said, "Why? Because you're a non-believer." So he went, No, I believe, and I've seen many good mediums." He said, "But you're the worst medium I've ever seen," and walked out.
Oh, that's so sad.
No.
And I had to speak to him afterwards, and I said, "Okay, so what about the 100 messages that you gave that everyone loved? You've now focused on the one negative because he's having a bad day. And for all you know, his dad could have just died. And he really wanted his dad to come through."
But we do. We focus on that one.
Yeah. We do. Now, thankfully, he's still working. He's still doing well, and he's quite successful. So I'm pleased, but he could have walked away from that for that one guy, that one time. So
it is. It's devastating. Like to hear a comment like that. Like all of us have experienced something along those lines of being kicked in the balls.
Yeah.
It's a gut punch, isn't it? To hear that.
Absolutely.
Face.
It hurts.
Yeah.
And we really take it personally. And I am sure every medium that is listening to this would say, I take it personally. Oh, how could you, maybe we shouldn't take it personally, but we do. It really hurts because, I mean, he would have really tried, and sometimes we just don't get the connection.
Not only that, with mediumship, there's one way where it works. We know how we work. And yes, we can learn to develop and work in different ways. If we can't do it one way, we can go in through a different way. But generally speaking, there's 5 or 6 different ways of bringing a message through. But there's also 100 ways of getting it wrong. You could be ill. You might not be feeling it. You might have had an argument with the wife before you came out. All these impact your experience. So getting that balance right can be difficult. I'm trying to think of it. Might have been Estelle Roberts, but I can't remember. So guys, you might have to leave it in your comments. Let us know. But there was a medium that said you can do 5 readings. 2 will be excellent. 1 will be good. 1 will be average, and 1 you think you wish you never tried. And that's coming from one of the best mediums in the world. When she was here, bless her, Estelle Roberts. I'm pretty sure it was Estelle Roberts, but I'm not 100% sure. So for someone of such level to say that. It just gives you an idea of, you know, don't be hard on yourself. You will get it wrong. And there was another gentleman that quoted this to me once. Not everybody is for everybody.
I
There's some
always say
people
that.
sometimes you can't read,
Mm.
you know, and that's absolutely fine as well. But yeah, it
Yeah.
happens. It happens.
I always say that
Yeah.
I might not be the medium for everybody, but I'm the medium for somebody.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
how I try to remember it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, it's right. It's true. You know, we are human as well. I think people forget that we're not walking around always connected to spirit. Well, like, I'm certainly not anyway. You know, we're all living a human life. We've got families and all that stuff going on, and so you know,
Yeah.
we've got with a human life comes human issues,
And that's
which we've all
probably
got going on.
and that's probably been my biggest challenge is my own personal relationships, and then having to work as well, mediumship, and that can be really difficult. Managing your personal life with spirit, that's difficult.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
but having said that, again, the first demonstration I ever did, a lovely lady called, hi Tina, if you're listening, she said, right, when you walk through that door, you leave all your rubbish outside that door. You shut it away and you go back through that door at the end of the night and you can pick it all up again. But leave your rubbish at that door.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, okay, I'm going to develop a way. I just saw that as putting my rubbish into one side. I left it there. I kind of developed that in my mind. It helps. It
No, I
helps.
agree with that, definitely. Because you know,
Mm.
you have a bad day and you think, well, I can't let my bad day affect my dem this evening.
Yeah.
So I've
Well,
got to work.
there's different levels within the mind, your sub-minds, you know,
Mm,
sounds, emotion, connections. They'll all affect you.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
yeah. Yeah.
All right. So
Definitely.
last couple of questions, Paul, before we get on to a few funny ones, and then
You're good.
we'll leave you for your voice to rest.
Thank you.
So look at what's going on. I mean, I don't know if it's fair if you've seen it, because I know you're on social media, Paul, but I quite like the fact that you're not on. I don't know if you are on TikTok or not, but
No.
I like the fact that
Me either.
you just do your own thing and you don't need to be in people's faces and doing all these videos and all this business. But from what you see in the industry, because it's been going to shit a little bit, I've got to say, when you look at all these arguments on certain platforms, from what you see, what do you think, if anything, that needs to change?
Wow. Where do you want me to start with
Or
that
go
one?
back
Yeah.
to wherever
Wow.
you
Okay.
like.
Right. Okay. I
You're
don't.
allowed to unleash.
I think it expands beyond the spiritual movement. I think it expands into society and where we are today. The lack of faith, the lack of belief. We have different gods today that we worship. You know, people worship the gym, people worship money, and we've kind of gone away from a spiritual message. And that's difficult to get that back. And only time, and it's normally situations that create within society that inner soul searching. I think in terms of consciousness within humanity, we're changing. So things that you guys do, expanding the knowledge that's there around mediumship becomes like a church in itself because you're asking people to look inside themselves and to find that expression within themselves. What is it I believe in? You know, I know mediumship is only a small part of the greater whole, but it's the start. It's that door that opens to other aspects of self and understanding. And I think we have to try and get away from, and this is why I don't follow particular people, but consciousness is changing within us all. And I'm hoping that we're all going to come back to that inner awareness of a creator of, gosh, I sound really religious. I'm not, but we have that divine spark within us all. And if we can all find it and come together, and I think there needs to be, especially within mediumship, a better community, a community where we can all prosper and support each other, rather than it being about their ego, how good they look. And there's a lot of people go out there way too early. I'm still learning. I still have a mentor because I want someone to bounce off with and he's helped me grow as a medium as well with different ideas and challenge me. He challenges me. I love that. So I think it's about, not arriving at a place and time where a lot of mediums do. I'm here now. We have to constantly grow and learn.
Yeah.
So within the spiritual world, wouldn't it be lovely to have a community without boundaries, without the ego? It would be fantastic, wouldn't it? I'm going to pick on the union. They've kind of imploded, which is really sad. And, a lot of the tutors have left and have created their own place. It's almost like a mini Arthur Findlay College. Now, good luck to them, because at the end of the day, I think it comes down to the quality of your work and how you help the public and how you're being in service. So, and that's what it comes down to, how you're being of service. So again, it always comes back down to, and sorry to use a quote or principle from the National Spiritualist Union, but it always comes down to personal responsibility of who you are.
Yeah, I always say if you're that good, as you say you are, your work should speak for itself.
Do you know what though, David? The saddest thing of all the people that I've interviewed and met, they're all really good people. They're all really, whether we've had arguments or not, they're all really good people, all trying to do the right thing. Yeah. And I think if we can remember that and try to focus on that, we won't go far wrong.
Yeah, it's so hard to, and I actually want to do that more, you know what I mean? Like, I think over the years, we've all been hurt. We've all been stabbed in the back, those knives have come out and they've really hurt us. And it's hard to open that door again. And it's not about forgiveness. It's more about being vulnerable to be hurt again.
Yeah.
Like to put yourself out there, because some people don't change. No. And it's hard. Yeah. And when you're out there being a good person and doing your best and showing up for the right reasons and that, it's sad when the light is shone on, these people that are doing the wrong thing, but they're coming across as doing the right thing. And it's just so hard to be that good human. But, you saying this is that reminder for us to
absolutely
step up.
I think their negativity should be your motivation to be better.
Yeah.
And allow them to try and bring you down, but just keep doing what you're doing and don't let them shit on you from a high level. Keep doing what you're doing, turning up for spirit. You don't need to be in service with anything or anybody apart from the one person or one being, one energy, however you see your God.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Very wise words.
Yes, definitely. Well, Glenda, do you want to ask to finish off some of your really random questions?
I come up with random questions.
Good.
So Paul, if you were to have a pizza, do you think that pineapple belongs on that pizza?
No.
Thank you. Absolutely.
No, and no, definitely not.
Thank you very much.
You're on David's side then.
Yeah, sorry, mate. Sorry.
Yeah. No, you're my side. You're my team. I agree.
Yeah.
But I have weird tastes, so I like tuna on pizza. I like
my other half does as well. Yeah.
Someone else said that on the podcast. Yeah. And tell me, Paul, if you were to have a superpower, would it be to go back in time, freeze time, or something else?
Oh my God.
And why?
Well, see, I'd love to go back in history, but unfortunately, I'd end up changing it. Like tripping Adolf Hitler up so he falls over and dies. So we don't go through the Second World War and kill 6 million Jewish people. So it'll be wasted on me because I'd change the course of history. Superpower, yeah, it's got to be, isn't it? Healing. It's got to be, isn't it? Can you imagine? I saw a little girl yesterday and it really upset me. And some of social media is an interesting aspect of what they've created, because there is a lot of bad, but there's a lot of good. And I never knew there was this condition existing. There was a little girl with hands that were like shovels and she couldn't grip, and her whole life is ruined by that. And it was just such an anomaly. I've never seen anything like this condition before. But I just think I'd love to be able to deal with that. I'd love to be able to change a life. You know, why is there so much? Why do we have these experiences? Let's not get on that. We'll be here all day. But I understand why. But to see a soul going through that experience, I find really difficult.
Yeah.
So yeah, for me, healing all day long.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And last question then.
David will get to do the last question.
Well, I would like to say also gambling. I'd love to be able to go in a casino and see the other side of the cards. And
that'd be nice.
Win lots of money. So yeah.
That would be nice.
Would be. So Paul, if today were your last day on earth, and if this is your final conversation, what legacy would you like to leave behind?
I'd like to leave the fuck it principle behind and stop worrying about yesterday. Stop worrying about tomorrow. Focus on today. Life is one day. Okay? Fuck everyone else. Love hard and live to your full. And tell people what you feel. Be kind. Be kind. You can tell people what you feel and be kind because they'll take it. They'll understand it. But it's when we say what we feel without any kind of like, well, I'm just being authentic. It can be quite hurtful. So, and I don't like that new term, authenticity, because it means it means different things to different people. And I think that one of the reasons we're here, and I know we talked about this a lot today, is not just to be in service to the creator, but be in service to our friends and our family. Yeah. And if you can help someone, you know, help someone, but also live your life. Fuck it. Do what you need to do. But don't hurt anyone on the way. Yeah.
I love you say that. Because I always say I really dislike this, the Oh So Honest Brigade. Yeah. Now, we say we're honest, right? But there's a difference between being honest and being an asshole.
Yes.
So you can still be honest, but no, as you say, being kind. But if you're saying it just to hurt someone's feelings, then you're an asshole.
Do you know, absolutely. And do you know, I always go by the premise that less is more, David. Less is more. You know?
Yeah. Today?
Yeah. Less is more. It's really powerful.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much, Paul, for joining us. It's just been so great having you on and having that chat. We could talk for hours, except you won't be able to.
Last thing, Paul, to ask. What you got coming up? Where can people find you?
So I've had something really interesting happen. I've done trance over the years and physical. And recently I've had an experience where they're coming through and talking through me. I'll tell you afterwards because I don't want to say anything to the world yet. I want to keep it quiet. But I'm quite excited. So look out for me doing some kind of trance. Especially what's coming through. It's always, you know, I listened to Eckhart Tolle say once, it's not about who you've got with you. It's about the information that's coming through. If it gives you value to your life, it has meaning. So that's really exciting for me at the moment. Also, lots of demonstrations this year. And there's also 2 theatres booked. So I'm really excited about that.
Oh, get you. Yeah. No, I do stalk, not stalk you. I do follow you on Facebook. So you are quite busy. You've got your posters up. So
yeah.
And where can people find you if they want to contact you?
So yeah, paulbannistermedium.co.uk. I'm online. That's my website. Also, Spiritual Talk TV, Beyond Reality, where you can find David on there as well. Glenda, we'll have to get you on at some point.
Yeah.
I'm taking a break at the moment because we've got up to 25,000 subscribers. We're doing quite well on there. And we're just I'm thinking about using what I'm doing with trance to come through on there as well. So that's another, like I said, that's a really exciting. But yeah, loving demonstrating, working for Spirit. And yeah.
Do you private readings?
Yeah, I do private readings, yes. Okay. Yeah, this is going to sound awful, though I prefer demonstrating.
I said the same thing,
like David.
Yeah.
I love it. It's just the buzz, the energy, the
buzz,
people.
Yeah. No,
not that I don't mind doing one-to-ones. I just love the whole Yeah. Maybe we're just born to do it, David. I don't know. We just love
And
that.
I think, as you said before, there's so different levels of mediumship, and I think you've got we've all got different niches in certain areas, so you
Absolutely
go with it, don't you? Well, Paul, thank you very much for joining us today. We very much appreciate it, and appreciate all your insight and your wisdom as well, because you've got lots of it to share. So with that said, Glenda, thank you very much as well.
Yeah, thank you, David. Thank you, Paul, for being here. It's been
pleasure.
Excellent first episode.
Pleasure, guys. Absolutely. Thank you.
And thank you, listeners, and stay with us and join us again. We'll have some more special guests in the next coming episodes, as well as just random chats that me and Glenda have as well. So we'll see you all again soon. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you for joining us in the Spirit Lounge for today's episode. We hope you enjoyed what you heard. And if you did, please like and share the podcast. And if you can, please leave us a comment or review, as it really helps us out.
And if you want to hear us talk about a particular topic or have a question you'd like our viewpoint on, then email them to us on either davidhmedium@outlook.com or glenda-marie1@hotmail.com, and we'll get to them as soon as possible.
Lastly, if you'd like to connect with us individually and book our services, you can check out our websites. Glenda's website is www.glendamariepsychicmedium.com.
And you can find David at www.davidhmedium.co.uk.
For now, it's bye from me.
And it's bye from me.
Join us again soon in the Spirit Lounge.